So here's standing back a bit more. So it's going to go right in there, and it's going to stick up a bit, and it's going to sort of chop the room up a bit. And phone on a tripod. I can't be bothered setting up the whole camera at the moment. It's got all the photography gear sorted with it. But my fridge, which is only a little one, I'll show you in a minute. I think it's disgracefully dirty at the moment, but never mind. Is over 20 years old. It was in the truck when I bought it, and I have serviced it. I've put fans in the back behind it. I've put extra vents behind it. The fans helped a little bit, but last summer I couldn't use the freezer at all. Nothing stayed frozen, so it was a waste of time. And it just had a big meltdown every single day. And then as the freezer melted down, all this yucky water drips down all over my food, and it was just disgusting. And it's been driving me insane. So, and for some reason I just feel it's important at the moment to be as self-sufficient as I can be, and not be buying LPG every 2 weeks, which is what happens when I run that fridge on gas. So that is my current fridge. It's a good brand, but it's ancient. The door's actually warped because I've shoved so much in there. I think I've beaten the door at times. So it's going to go in there, and it's going to come up to about here. The Samsung ones came up to about here, which meant cutting even more cabinetry apart and doing a huge falafel, and I couldn't be bothered. Yeah, and even width-wise, it wasn't going to fit in there. I was going to have to modify that whole cupboard and change that, and I just thought, wow, no, I'll try and find something smaller. So yeah, the one I've ordered is going to fit in there. What I've been doing is I've built another shelf in there, but I'm going to have to cut that a little bit and cut that door down and move my cutlery drawer over there. I've made room for that. I just don't want to cut anything until I've tried this thing out, because I love my cabinetry, you know, it's really nice. So yeah, I've moved this cabinet. That's why it looks so grody there. But that's gonna be chopped there, so I've cleaned it up a bit in here where it's still going to be visible. That's all going to go. I'll be able to pull that fan out. I've got a fan there for the fridge. I don't think the electric one will need that. So that means that cable will go. That's just for that. And which used to be inside the cupboard. Now it's sticking out. These are the holes that the guy who built the truck drilled in the bench. And that was the only venting this fridge had when I bought it. I've actually gooped all them up with a bit of epoxy and put 2 vents on the back so that it vented properly. And that helped. And then 2 electric fans, computer fans behind it. I did all that a couple of summers ago. Helped a little bit. I still couldn't use the freezer in summer. So anyway, this is where it's going to go. In here. And the cutlery drawer is going to be there. So anyway, excuse the mess, but this is my fridge, which is a shambles at the moment. That little freezer, I had to put a catch on it because the spring broke. At the moment it's not bad because I've just defrosted it, but it just ices up, and at the moment it's working, like that's actually frozen. But come December, January, February, March, it won't be frozen. I wouldn't be able to use it. And look at my veggies, and I mean it's days since I did groceries. On grocery day it's just awful. It's just jammed in there, which doesn't work efficiently either. It's not great. It's all got rusty issues at the bottom. This is actually not dirt. It looks like, oh, it's a little bit dirty, but a lot of that is actually rust. So here's standing back a bit more. So it's going to go right in there, and it's going to stick up a bit, and it's going to sort of chop the room up a bit, and yeah, it's not going to be as nice, but I've been toying with this idea for years, and it's always put me off having to cut up my lovely cabinetry, but function is more important than beauty, I feel, in this case, and I'm just so very, very over that little fridge. So it'll be using about 52 amp hours a day roughly, which yeah meant I had to upgrade my battery situation a little bit before I did that. Eventually, and I'm not going to do that right now because, you know, money's money, but eventually I'm going to separate that battery. At the moment it's tapped into the other ones and it's the same size, and you know, it should be okay for now. Was installing this, I had no more room in my battery locker. I've still got sawdust in there from yesterday, and I've got a bit of organising to do in there. At the moment I've just chucked a block behind it so it doesn't slide around in there. I've got a little bit more to do there, but yeah, I got a really good deal on this, so that's going to be wonderful. And I had to drill more holes in the floor to take the cables through. I started with step 1, and I'm still waiting for the fridge to actually arrive. Right, so this is what I ended up putting in. It was a total change of plan actually, because the one I was looking at that was going to go in there wasn't an inverter fridge, so I wasn't sure how it was going to go. It was supposed to be pretty efficient, but I thought, no, I'll go with what's tested and true, and that's a Samsung inverter fridge. I've just wrapped it in that vinyl wrap to make it look less ginormous and white, which I quite like. I quite like that colour. It's turned out quite good, I reckon. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. So I had to cut that cabinet out and cut the bench top there and cut a little bit away at the top and put it in. And I did that the night I picked it up actually, because I needed it. It was just in the middle of the room and it was, yeah, a pain. I then took the little one that was there out and took it to the tip because it was broken. And then I had to put some new supports in for that cutlery drawer, because that used to sit on a little wooden thing on the fridge. And then I took that door, modified that, put some shelves in there and turned that into a cupboard. In the meantime I had bags of groceries and food and stuff everywhere, which I've now put away. I've also dedicated the top shelf in that cupboard to food now. And having a good sort out in there was a good thing, because it was just full of old paperwork and junk. So yeah. So anyway, it's sort of cut down the kitchen bench a little bit, but it's nice having a proper fridge. Have a look. Right, this is my freezer, which is awesome. At first I thought, oh, I won't use that, but I think I might, because I'd thought of seeing if I could remove it. But oh, look at that, I've still even got the sticky tape from the shelves in there. But yeah, I've just put this little basket in there for all my frozen fruit, and the door has storage as well, which has some dumplings, and I love this frozen cube pumpkin and sweet potato. I use that sort of stuff a lot, so handy to have. And there's the fridge part, which has a nice veggie drawer. Hang on. Good shelves. Then it has this fresh room thing, which I think's for meat and stuff, but I've put other things in there. There's a little bit of Fiend's meat in there. I bought her some meat. So yeah, I'm very, very pleased with it. And this is the office side of it. Whoops, hang on. So I've just put a little cork board there, which I can pin notes up, and I reused a bit of bench top, made that little shelf there. But yeah, the new fridge seems to be going really well. It was huge and white when I first put it in, and it was sort of a bit of a, well, So I ordered that vinyl wrap stuff online, and I didn't do a perfect job of it. It's got the odd bubble because it's a little bit stretchy when you put it on. But because it has a pattern, it's not that noticeable, so that's pretty good. But yeah, I'm sort of a bit more, I got a little bit of a upset stomach for a couple of days during the week, so just felt a bit flat. So I'm just going to this weekend take it chill, go for a walk, take some photos, maybe fly the drone, potter around a bit. I've just mucked around with the electrical system for a couple of hours, so yeah, I don't feel like doing any more of that stuff. So yeah, so that's my new fridge. That was a total change around from what I was going to do. I was sitting in Taupo waiting for that other one, which ironically, even though I went in and cancelled it, they rang me yesterday to tell me it had turned up. So it actually took like quite a long time. So I'm quite glad I didn't wait for that, plus not being an inverter fridge. Even though it was very efficient, its efficiency rating was good, but every time the compressor kicks on, you're going to get a big spike of power usage, and I wasn't sure how that was going to work, so I thought, well, I'm better off doing a few more modifications to the truck and fitting in something that I know works. And I'm quite pleased I did, because the other one was quite a bit smaller, and yeah, this one's quite a big fridge to have in this truck, but I like food. And I like a lot of vegetables. I buy a lot of vegetables, and in my little fridge they were always going off, whereas they seem to be keeping quite well on this one, so I'm going to waste less food too. And Mark, who's somebody who parks up here, he pointed out to me online the other day that not having to use as much LPG, it's going to save me about $800 a year. So 1 year pays for the fridge. The fridge was $750, so yeah, that's not bad. I'm quite glad about that, because in the Marlborough Sounds I had 9 kg gas bottles for the cooker and for the Califont. They were separate ones, and it was really good out there because we used to get long power cuts, so having things on LPG was actually really good. But they used to last me like 2 or 3 months. So hopefully I'll be back to that, you know, having gas bottles that don't take very long to recharge. And in summer at the moment, because I've got lots of solar, I use things like my Instant Pot to cook things like rice and stuff that takes a long time too, so it's quite handy for that. I am, before winter, going to add another solar panel. I've just got to figure out where exactly and what size it can be, just to cater for the fridge essentially. But solar's not expensive. That's going to cost me a couple of $100, you know, plus a regulator. But yeah, it's not a biggie. But I've got all summer to figure that out, because this time of year I've got heaps of solar anyway. Yeah, so yeah, and I think, as you saw earlier in the video, one of the clips I did chuck another battery in alongside my other one, so I've got 600 amp hours of batteries now. So yeah, that should work. That should work. So yeah, I'm pleased it's done. And yeah, so anyway, if you enjoyed this video, I didn't film all the building and stuff, because quite frankly, when I'm getting stuck into doing that, having a camera around just doesn't work. They end up getting knocked around and getting a hard time. So yeah, and I just would forget about it, and I would just sit there and run. But anyway, if you enjoyed that or have any questions about this whole process, please leave comments below. It's nearly Christmas, so I hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you are and have something nice planned for Christmas. And yeah, I want to send you lots of love, and see you all next time.